Holy guacamole! So 2019 just went by way too fast. I don't know what happened. I think I just blinked and now it's just over, but okay. So today I'm gonna show you my new setup for 2020. I can't believe it, but it's true. And I actually got a new bullet journal. I know, I'm shocked as well. But yeah, I got a Argent Olive bullet journal, which I'm really excited to use. And I'm just gonna be comparing it to my trusty old Leuchtturm 1917 that I've been using for 2 years. And yeah, I'm just gonna stop rambling now and yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so first off, as you can see, the packaging is absolutely stunning. It's a box with the Argent Olive plant doodles on it. If you follow them on Instagram, you already know those. And then the notebook itself has a little band around it, and it just tells you about the details of the notebook itself. But yeah, I got the dark blue one with the Big Dipper in gold in the center, and the notebook has an elastic band as well as a little pen loop. So once you open up the notebook, there's some space to write your name down, and then it goes straight into the dotted pages, so you don't get an index, which is fine by me because I don't really use it anyways. But yeah. The pages themselves lay really nice and flat, and there are 2 bookmarks, and one of them has the little ampersand from the Argent Olive logo, and the binding is, as always, a stitch binding, which is just the standard, and it just makes it really nice and flat. And in the back there's also a little pocket. Now, as a comparison, the Leuchtturm also has an elastic band but no pen loop, but it also has the 2 bookmarks, and the size of the 2 is pretty much the same, but the Argent Olive is just the tiniest bit taller. And the Leuchtturm does feature an index in the very first pages before the dotted pages start. Now, the biggest difference is the paper. So the Leuchtturm paper is only 80 GSM, as you can see here, whereas the Argent Olive has 160 GSM, so that's double the weight. And one thing to note is that because of the thickness of the paper, the Argent Olive only has 160 pages, whereas the Leuchtturm has around 250 pages. Another really big difference is the color of the paper. So as you can see, the Leuchtturm on the left is quite yellow in comparison to the Argent Olive, and if you look closely, you can see that the Argent Olive actually has blue dots, which I find quite pleasing to the eye. Now, since the Leuchtturm pages are so thin, there is of course a lot of ghosting on the other side of the page, and with the Argent Olive you never see anything because they are so thick, and you could even use wet medium on it. Alrighty, so I hope that was helpful, and now let's get into my 2020 setup. I can't believe it. So I got these super cute stickers by Oh Dear in their December subscription box. And so I used this cute plant sticker on the top there. I just couldn't help myself. And of course it wouldn't be one of my plan with me's if I didn't cover something up. So yeah, as you can see, I didn't like the key I did, so I'm covering it up with some brown craft paper. So yeah, I'm just writing the key with my Tombow fudenosuke, and then I'm also using my Signo white gel pen to add some drop shadows. As always, I'm gonna link the products I used down below, so check the description if you're interested. I also added some plant doodles around the title, which is gonna be a recurring theme this year, so be prepared. But yeah, I'm just using a Pigma Micron fine liner and then filling in the leaves with the white gel pen. And then as a background for my keys, I actually used some black paper and then wrote on top of it with, again, the white gel pen. And these are just the keys that worked for me so far. Obviously you can customize them however you like. And then I also rewrote my name on the right so that it fits together nicely, and yeah, I just thought it looked more cohesive. I actually changed the color palette as well, so I was thinking about using an orangey shade and a blue shade, but I ended up not liking it, as you could see there, and so I opted for 2 shades of beige, one just a lighter version of the other, and I'm just drawing some more leaves around the key and also around my name. On the next page, I again covered up my first attempt and I just wanted to do like a welcoming 2020 page and a quote on the right. And I'm using some more of that craft paper just as a little bit of a back background and just to make it look more interesting. And the quote is actually kind of funny. It says, I just don't want to look back one day and think I could have eaten that. I thought that was kind of funny, so I just wanted to start up my year with like a funny quote. But yeah, I'm just using a Sakura Pigment Micron fine liner, and for the other page I'm just writing Hey 2020, and I kind of did the same style as for my key and adding drop shadows to the 2020. And then of course more doodles as always. I'm using the white gel pen for the left page, and then for the quote I'm using the beige shade to add some doodles underneath the quote, and then also adding a little bit of detail to the lettering to just make it look more interesting and more finished. Okay, moving on to these next two pages, I did a year at a glance and a birthday calendar. And for the headers, I used some more black paper, like a little sign, and then wrote the titles in white. And then I'm using the darker beige to write the months, and then the lighter one as a background for the weekdays. And as always, this part is a bit tedious, but I managed to get through it without making any mistakes, so I gotta say I'm pretty proud of myself. But yeah, on the top I'm adding more leaves alternating between the two shades, and then I'm also adding some drop shadows to the months. And yeah, for the other page I again wrote the months, but in a bit of a different style, so with the first letter being double the size of the other two, and I actually saw that on Pinterest. But yeah, then again I used the lighter shade of beige as a background for the numbers of the month, so just 1 through 12. And lastly, I also added some borders with the light beige. And then of course I wrote down all the birthdays, and I'm just writing down the date and then the name of the person. And of course more leaf doodles on the top. Next up, I did a page for 2019 memories where I can just stick in photos or tickets of any events I went to, and I want to make it look like a little collage, and I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, so I'm just adding some leaves on the top. And then for the other page, I wanted to write down my current faves, so favorite artists, movies, shows, music, books, and just random stuff I currently enjoy. And then I can compare it to the end of 2020, which would be kind of interesting to see. And on the left page, I also added some leaves on the bottom to kind of frame the page. Alrighty, so on the next 3 pages I made a spread for 2020 in Polaroids, because I do have a Polaroid camera but I keep forgetting to use it, so I'm just trying to get more use out of it and actually take Polaroids. So yeah, I just outlined a box for each month and I wrote that month inside it so that I know which one is which. I actually managed to fit 4 Polaroids on one page because last year I only did 2 on one page and I felt like that was a little bit wasteful almost. So yeah, and for the months I again added drop shadows, and then I'm doodling some leaves on the top with the 2 shades of beige again. And like I said, I did 3 pages, so on this one I'm doing the same layout for the last 4 months. I just really love being able to look back and just see how you changed over the year, and just kind of remembering the things I did or experienced. And so I really enjoy the spread, and I would also recommend using washi tape to stick the Polaroids in your bullet journal so that you could just take them out whenever you like. And yeah, on the right page I added a goal section for 2020, and then of course I'm adding more leaf doodles on the top as well as on the bottom. And as you can see, I'm also adding some borders with the beige tone. I just wanted to keep this one simple as well, so that I just have a lot of space to just write down whatever I need. Okay, we have just a few more spreads to go. So on this page, I'm going to be writing down any recommendations for artists, movies, and stuff to check out. And I did the same layout as with my current faves, so that's why you see me flipping back to the other page. And on the other side is a wish list, so I could, for example, just write down any things I want to save up for, and I tried to kind of mix up the placement of the doodles so that it doesn't just look all the same and kind of boring. Now on the next page I made some space for any recipe ideas, and I split it up into breakfast and lunch/dinner ideas, because I do meal prep a lot, and that just helps me to not just cook pasta in some kind of a sauce every day, but just to kind of switch it up every once in a while. And on the other page, I split the page in the middle to add a section for any art challenges I want to do, as well as a section for things I want to learn. For example, learning how to use a different art technique or a different medium, or just any sort of thing basically. But yeah, the last two pages are just spread and YouTube ideas, so basically just a big brain dump page for me. And again, I wanted to change up the look, so I used more of that craft paper on both sides. And by the way, this corner rounding tool is just so dang useful. I definitely recommend that. And since it is just a big brain dump page, I wanted to give myself as much space as I can. I'm just drawing some leaves on the craft paper with my wet gel pen, and just left the rest pretty much empty except for a border around the sides and the bottom. Okay, so that was quite a lot to get through. I hope you stuck around to the end. So yeah, here's just a little flip through of all the pages I did. And as always, I'm so glad I changed the things I didn't like at first, because I'm really happy with how it turned out in the end. And I can't wait to just fill it all in and actually use it. And if you want to see my January setup, I did a separate video because I didn't want this one to be too long. So definitely check that out if you're interested. I'm gonna link it down below as well. Alright, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your 2019, and don't stress too much about New Year resolutions and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll just stop rambling now. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!